morning. My name is Dr. Dale Hubbard. I'm owner and trainer at Perfection Bird Dog Training. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to train pigeons to go back to the pigeon coop so that you can use them over and over. I have a pigeon coop here at where I keep the pigeons. I can keep roughly 12 to 15 in there. And so it takes roughly 30 days for the pigeons to be in the coop to establish that that's their safe place, that's where they get food, that's where they get water. And so it helps them to identify this is home, this is a safe place to go back to. Now there's a process that I go through to help them to learn how to go back in. I have here a one-way door for the pigeons to go back into. I have on my pigeon coop a predator protector that I made to put down over it, which keeps the coons out, the raccoons, hawks, any kind of predator that would go in there and kill them. So when I get ready to have them to go back, I raise this predator-proof screen, and you can see that there's a one-way entrance into the pigeon coop. So what I do is then I teach them to go back in there. And once again, this is after they've established that this is home and a safe place to go. Now, I have here about a 15-foot tether that I attach to their legs. And what I do is, to begin with, I just toss them to the pigeon coop. And once they establish to go back in, then it shows them how to get back into where it's safe. Okay, I have a pigeon here that's never been taught to go back in. He was raised in this coop, so he's about 2.5, 3 months old, and has never been into it. Now what I do to begin with is I just lock their wings, fold them over each other so that I can control them a little better. And then I put a tether on each one of their legs so that I can control their movement. Put one in and the other leg. Okay, once I have their legs tethered, then I unfold their wings. And to begin with, this is the first time this pigeon has ever been outside the coop. So this is all a new world to him. So what I'm going to do is just set him up here to show him that he can get back into it. And once he gets back into it, then that becomes a positive reinforcement because he feels better that he's in where it's safe. And once I bring him out, then he feels unsure. But he first has to know how to swing these bars open so he can return back in. So I'm going to do this several times. So you can just see that they will go back into it. And pigeons are very smart. They learn quickly. So once again, that serves as the positive reinforcement for them to go back in there because they get back into where it's safe. Once I've done that several times, then I back up and I throw it just about a foot away from the perch and let them enter it again. And once they enter it, once again, that's the positive reinforcement for them going back in. Okay, I keep repeating this process by getting further and further away. So let him go back in so he feels secure. Bring him back out. And step back a little bit. Once again, repeating the process over and over. We're creating a little bit of distance so that he understands how to get back into it. Because when he's out here, I give him a bird's eye view, so to speak, of everything around. You can see what it looks like. Okay, pigeon's doing pretty good. Wait till he goes back in. Looks like one of the pigeons doesn't want to let him back in. So I kind of encourage him to go back in. Once again, that serves as a positive reinforcement once he enters it. I'll bring him back out. I'll repeat the process again. And one of the other pigeons doesn't want him in for some reason. I'm going to go up and just encourage him to go back in. Once again, once he gets in, that positive reinforcement, create a little more distance this time. He's learning very nicely. There's that one pigeon that doesn't want him back in again. Okay. Okay. So this time, from the ground, he did not go back in. So we'll start again with. That was good that you're able to see that from a little bit of a distance, it doesn't know to go directly right back in. So you have to decrease the distance until he learns that process again. Still hadn't quite learned yet. So I keep repeating this process till they repetitively go back to the pigeon door. There you go. Let him rest just a second. Still didn't quite know it. So the positive reinforcement comes from them on the legs, just like that. And by repeating that process like that, then you're able to teach the pigeon to go back into the pigeon coop, and then you can use them over and over and over. The average lifespan for a pigeon is about 12 to 15 years, so you can use them over and over and over many times. And so I use pigeons to train bird dogs initially. And so this is a way of cutting down your cost of using the pigeons. They give out a stronger scent than the quail do also, and so it's easier to use, and the bird dog is allowed to find the bird with a little bit more ease than the quail that would suppress their scent. Okay, once I have given the pigeon a series of repetitions of going back in the pigeon coop, I'm going to put them back into a lock wing position here, and I'm going to tag them. I'm going to take one of these tethers off. Actually, I'm going to take both of them off. I don't need to do that anymore. And what I'm going to do is put a band around their legs. Since I have a number of them in there, this band will allow me to know which ones has been newly trained and which ones are the old pros that going back in. So I'll put this little band on their leg. Just like that. Not tight so it won't cut off circulation or anything or hurt your leg. And I'll leave this length on it until they have proven themselves that they're a veteran at using and going back into the pigeon house. I know they're going back in because they have this long tether on it. And so after they have proven themselves, I will take this and I will cut the length part off right here, and that'll let me know that he's the one that's proven himself of going back in. So this is how you teach the pigeons to go back to the coop. Once again, it takes about 30 days for them to identify his home, safe place, food and water, and you tether them and let them go back into the pigeon coop, which is the positive reinforcement, and then you gradually create distance with the tether on them, and if they miss the pigeon entrance, then you just simply pull them back until they get it right, and then once they get it right, then the positive reinforcement occurs. So I'm going to put this one right here. Okay. So what I'll do next is I'll take him out with one of the veteran pigeons and let him fly around with him, and this will he'll watch the other pigeons go back in, which will help him to understand, like if he's on the barn up here in the tree on the ground, that he can follow him back in, and so that will complete that process of teaching them to go back to the coop so you can use them over and over and over. All right, this is the veteran pigeon. You can see that the one that's gone back in 1,000 times has the clip pulled off, and this is the one that I just trained, and I'll leave the long clip on. So what I'm going to do is just release, well, we went back in. Have one up there on top of the barn. So I'm going to throw him up there so he'll associate himself with him. All right, now he'll stay with that other pigeon, and since that new pigeon has just got through training, we'll watch this other pigeon go back in, and he will follow and go back in later.